The Discovery. The research vessel. Ziffern-7 floated in the vast darkness of space, its silver hull gleaming under the light of a distant star. Inside, a team of alien scientists gathered around a massive holographic display, their eyes fixed on a glowing red dot. Dr. Zyfer, the lead scientist, narrowed his 4 yellow eyes. His species, the Velmari, had explored thousands of worlds, but nothing like this. His sharp claws tapped against the console as he analyzed the readings. "This planet, it should not exist," he muttered. The others murmured in agreement. The holographic planet rotated slowly, revealing its dark blue oceans, vast continents, and swirling storms. The sensors had classified it as a Class 14 Deathworld, the highest level of planetary danger. No species in the known galaxy had ever survived on a world ranked higher than Class 9. Dr. Zyfer turned to his assistant, Kirill, a younger scientist with a nervous expression. "What do the readings show?" Kirill gulped and adjusted his datapad. "Sir, this planet has extreme gravity, unpredictable weather, and deadly native species. The oxygen levels are barely manageable," and he hesitated, "and the planet suffers from constant geological instability." Dr. Zyfer frowned. "Volcanoes." "Yes, sir. And earthquakes, hurricanes, wildfires. This planet is in chaos." The scientists whispered among themselves. A planet this violent should be a wasteland, yet the scans showed a thriving ecosystem filled with billions of life forms. "Are there intelligent species?" another scientist asked. Kirill hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, sir. There are signs of large cities, technology, and space activity." Silence fell over the lab. Intelligent life on a Class 14 Deathworld. Impossible. Dr. Zylo's claws tightened against the console. "Send a signal, a standard galactic greeting." Kirill nodded and activated the transmission. A moment later, the ship sent a simple message in every known language. "This is the Velmari Science Council. We seek peaceful contact. Identify yourselves." The crew held their breath. No response. Seconds passed, then minutes. The only sound was the hum of the ship's engine. Dr. Zylo exhaled. "Perhaps their technology is too primitive to receive the transmission." Then, the console beeped. The crew jumped. The signal had been answered. A voice, clear and strong, echoed through the chamber. The words were translated instantly by the ship's systems. "This is Earth." The room froze. The voice continued, calm but firm. "Welcome to our home. What took you so long?" Dr. Zylo's blood ran cold. They were expecting them. The realization struck him like a thunderbolt. The species on this death world were not just intelligent, they were aware. And they were watching. First contact with the unknown. The research vessel Ziffern-7 remained in orbit, its crew frozen in shock. "This is Earth. Welcome to our home. What took you so long?" The human voice still echoed in the control room. Dr. Zylo's claws hovered over the console. His species, the Velmari, had made first contact with over 50 intelligent civilizations. Every time the process was the same. Primitive species were either terrified, amazed, or simply unaware of alien life. But this was different. The humans had expected them. Kirill swallowed hard. "Yes, sir. Should we respond?" Dr. Zyfer forced himself to stay calm. He pressed a button, transmitting his own voice. "We are the Velmari Science Council. We come in peace. Identify yourselves." The reply came almost instantly, too fast. "We are human. We live here." The crew exchanged nervous glances. The voice carried no fear, no hesitation, not even curiosity. It was as if the humans had done this before. Kirill's hands trembled as he analyzed the signal. "Sir, their response was sent in under 0.2 seconds. No hesitation, no processing delay. Even the most advanced species we've met take longer to reply." Dr. Geifer's mind raced. How could a species on a Class 14 Deathworld have technology fast enough to respond in real time? He cleared his throat. "We wish to understand your species. How did you survive on such a dangerous world?" For a long moment, there was no answer. Then, the human voice returned. This time, it was different. "Amused? Survive? We don't just survive, we thrive." Dr. Zeifer's fur bristled. "Thrive? On a death world?" Kirill's screen beeped. "Sir, they're sending data." A stream of information flooded the ship's computers. Images, history, scientific records. The Valnari watched in horror as the files played across the holographic display. They saw tornadoes tearing through cities, but humans rebuilt. They saw earthquakes leveling entire civilizations, but humans adapted. They saw plagues, wars, radiation, extinction events, but humans never died out. In every scenario where a species should have gone extinct, humans had only grown stronger. One of the younger scientists whispered, "They should be dead 100 times over." Dr. Zeifer didn't respond. His mind was spinning. This species had endured everything nature could throw at them, and instead of breaking, they had conquered their own world. Then the final image appeared. A human, standing on the moon, looking back at Earth. The message beneath it sent a chill down Dr. Zeifer's spine. This was just our first step. He realized something terrifying. The humans had already left their death world. They were coming for the stars. The warning, the control room of Zifrin 7 was silent. No one dared to speak. The last message from Earth still lingered in the air. This was just our first step. Dr. Zeifer's claws gripped the console. He had encountered many dangerous species before, warlike empires, brutal conquerors, cunning traders. But none had ever felt like this. Not a threat, not a request, just a statement of fact. Kirill's voice trembled. "Sir, do we respond?" Dr. Zeifer hesitated. Every instinct told him to disconnect, to leave this cursed world behind, to warn the High Council that something unnatural was happening on this planet. But curiosity was a disease, one that had driven Valnaria across the stars, and now it infected him too. He pressed the transmitter. "Humanity, why have you never contacted the wider galaxy?" A pause. Too long. Then, finally, the reply came. "Because we weren't sure if you were ready." Dr. Zeifer's blood ran cold. They weren't sure if we were ready. The Valeri had mapped galaxies, mastered energy beyond the stars, and bent gravity itself. Yet these Deathworlders, these humans, spoke as if they were the ones waiting for us. Carol whispered, "Sir, this doesn't make sense. If they've mastered space travel, why don't they have a galactic presence?" "Doctor." Zeifer was about to reply when the ship's alarm blared. Warning, incoming object detected. Every scientist turned to the monitors. A small metallic object was rising from the planet. Fast. "Sir, it's heading straight for us," Carol cried. Dr. Zeifer's heart pounded. Evasive maneuvers. Shields up. The crew scrambled, redirecting power. The object, no. The ship continued its rapid approach. It was tiny compared to the Zifrin 7, barely a speck in the void, but it was moving at a speed no ship of its size should be capable of. Then the incoming transmission came through. "Relax. We just want to talk face to face. A direct request. No aggression, no threats. Yet, somehow, it was terrifying." Dr. Zeifer swallowed. "This is madness. No Deathworld species should have this level of control, this level of confidence. Yet here they were, and they were coming." He exhaled sharply. "Allow them to dock." Carol turned to him in shock. "Sir, we don't know what they're capable of." Dr. Kirill's eyes gleamed. Exactly. The impossible arrival. The docking bay of the Zifrin 7 was deathly silent. Every scientist, every officer, every warrior on board stood frozen as the human vessel slid into place with unnatural precision. Dr. Kirill's claws tapped against his console. His mind raced with calculations. The Zifrin 7 was a state-of-the-art research vessel built by one of the oldest spacefaring civilizations in the galaxy. Its docking systems operated on universal protocols that all known species followed. Yet the human ship had docked perfectly, without a single adjustment, without any delay. It was as if they already knew how it worked. Kirill's throat clicked. "Sir, they're requesting permission to come aboard." Dr. Kirill forced himself to respond. Permission granted. The airlock hissed open. And for the first time in recorded history, a human stepped onto a Velmeri ship. The crew stared. The human was tall. Its form encased in a dark, smooth suit. It carried no weapons, wore no armor. And yet it walked with the confidence of a being that had never known fear. Its helmet retracted, revealing a face that was strangely calm, amused, and entirely unshaken by standing among an alien species for the first time. The human's eyes scanned the room as if reading every detail, every weakness in an instant. Then it smiled. "Nice ship, bit outdated though." Dr. Kirill's fur bristled. Outdated? The Zifrin 7 was built with the most advanced technology known to the Velmeri. If humans considered this outdated, then what did their real ships look like? Kirill's voice cracked. "Yes, sir. I've been scanning their ship," and Dr. Xylo turned sharply. "And what?" Kirill's gills flared in pure terror. "It has no power source." The words hit the room like a meteor impact. Impossible. Every species in the galaxy used some form of reactor, fusion core, or energy cell. Yet Kirill's scans were correct. There was nothing. No heat signature, no radiation, no energy fluctuations. It was as if the ship simply existed. Dr. Xylo turned back to the human, trying to keep his voice steady. "How does your ship function without a power source?" The human smiled wider. "Oh, it has one. You just don't recognize it." A chill ran through Dr. Xylo's bones. Recognize? This wasn't just advanced technology. This was something else entirely. And for the first time in his long career, he wasn't sure if the Velmeri were the superior species in this conversation. The human clasped its hands behind its back. "So, you discovered Earth. What now?" Dr. Xylo had no answer, because for the first time in history, a Deathworld species had flipped the script. The explorers were no longer in control. The humans were. The silent war. Dr. Xylo's mind raced. The human's words echoed in his skull. "You just don't recognize it. Their ship had no power signature. Their technology defied every known law of physics. And yet, they stood here, unbothered, confident, and waiting." Something was wrong. Very, very wrong. Kirill's voice cracked through the tense silence. "Sir, we should leave. Now." Dr. Xyfer agreed. Every instinct told him to cut off communication, retreat, and erase any records of this planet. But the human was watching him, studying him. It knew what he was thinking. "What do you want from us?" Xyfer finally asked, forcing his voice to stay steady. The human chuckled. "Want? That's funny. You're the ones who came here." Kirill tensed. "Then why did you dock with us?" The human tilted its head as if considering the question. Then it simply said, "Because we needed to see if you were a threat." The air in the room turned heavy. Kirill swallowed. A threat to the human smiled. Faded. To us. To us. Not the galaxy. Not the balance of power. Just them. A creeping horror slithered through Dr. Xyfer's chest. Humans weren't just surviving on a Class 14 death world. They had become something beyond the galaxy's understanding. And now, they were making sure the galaxy wouldn't be a problem. Dr. Xyfer's voice dropped to a whisper. "And did we pass?" The human didn't answer immediately. It simply exhaled as if disappointed. Then finally it said, "Not yet." A shiver ran through the crew. Dr. Xyfer felt his blood run cold. "And if we fail?" The human expression never changed. "Then you won't need to worry about it." The words were calm. Too calm. The conversation was over. The human turned, stepped back into their impossible ship, and left without another word. No threats, no demands, no warships. But something deep inside Dr. Zypher knew this was a warning. The Valnari thought they had discovered Earth, but the truth was far more terrifying. Earth had discovered them, and humanity had been waiting. The truth they shouldn't have learned. Dr. Zypher sat in silence, staring at the empty void where the human ship had disappeared. The Ziffern 7's crew was still frozen, processing what had just happened. Not a single one of them spoke. Kyriel finally broke the silence. "Sir, what do we do?" Dr. Zypher didn't answer immediately. His claws tapped against his console, his mind running through every possible scenario. They had to leave. They had to report this to the Valnari High Council. They had to warn the galaxy. But deep down, a terrible thought clawed at the back of his mind. What if the humans already knew everything the Valnari did? And worse, what if they let them leave on purpose? Zypher's voice came out quiet. "Prepare for departure." Kyriel nodded frantically and rushed to the controls. The Ziffern 7's engines roared to life, pulling them away from the massive Deathworld below. But just as they reached the outer edge of the system, something impossible happened. Every single one of their ship systems shut down. No alarms, no warnings, no external interference, just silence. The lights flickered. The gravity stabilizers failed. The navigation screen flashed one simple message: DONT. A chill ran down Dr. Zypher's spine. "Kyriel." His voice was barely a whisper. "Did you?" "I didn't touch anything, sir." The crew was panicking. Scientists, officers, trained warriors, all of them terrified. Dr. Zypher tried to override the system, but nothing responded. The ship was being held in place by something beyond their understanding. Then the message changed. Some things are better left undiscovered. The bridge was suffocatingly quiet. Kyril's voice was shaky. "Sir, I think they're telling us to forget what we saw." Dr. Zypher exhaled slowly, trying to steady himself. Then he did something no scientist should ever do. He agreed. His claws trembled as he typed the command. "Purge all the data on System 14. One by one, their files disappeared. All scans, all logs, all footage. The records of the Deathworld erased. As the last file vanished, the ship suddenly restarted. The lights flickered back on. The gravity returned. The engines hummed like nothing had happened. And on the screen, one final message appeared. "Good choice." Then, just like that, the Ziffern 7 was free. Dr. Zypher clenched his fists. He was a scientist. He had dedicated his life to uncovering truths. But this was a truth no one in the galaxy was meant to know. They had called Earth a Class 14 Deathworld. They were wrong. It was something far, far worse. And the humans had made sure the universe would never find out. The galaxy will never know. The Ziffern 7 drifted through the void, silent and intact, yet forever changed. Dr. Zypher sat motionless, his claws gripping the console so tightly they left marks. The data was gone, purged, erased as if the mission had never happened. Yet the truth was still burned into his mind. A truth so terrifying, so incomprehensible that he dared not even speak it. Earth was not just a death world. Humanity was something else entirely. Kyril swallowed hard. "What now, sir?" Dr. Zypher's mandibles twitched. He had spent his life uncovering the universe's greatest secrets. He had believed knowledge was meant to be shared, but now he realized some knowledge only led to destruction. He turned to his crew. "We say nothing." Kyril blinked. "Sir?" Zypher's voice was calm but unshakable. "We tell the Council the system was empty. No habitable worlds, no intelligent life. We falsify the reports." The crew looked at him in shock. "Sir, that's treason." Zypher's eyes darkened. "No, it's survival." A deep silence filled the bridge. Then, one by one, the crew nodded, because they all felt it, that creeping, paralyzing sense of doom. If the Valnari ever learned the truth, if the galaxy ever tried to interfere with Earth, there would be no war, no negotiations, Just silence. Because humanity wouldn't argue. They wouldn't defend themselves. They would simply erase the problem.